Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of everyone's favorite stock picking show, the Wealth Advisory's Top 10. We're on to the month of February 2024. We thought about dressing up as Cupids, but we figured we would spare you guys having to look at us in diapers and wings. It's not a good look. It's also really cold here in Baltimore, so diapers and wings just not weather appropriate, So maybe next month we'll come in as leprechauns or something like that for you. We'll see. Anyway, we're here. We're back. January was a decent month for the markets. It was a rough month for our top 10 picks. I'm going to blame Jason here because he didn't show up last month to record with me. That's what happens, man. We're a team, We don't do as well when we're not together. But no, seriously, I mean, we always say, you can't always beat the market, and you just have to try and beat it more often than you do. And if you look at our track record, we really do. So, I don't really want to do much of a recap from last month because it was so bad. Jason had the two best picks in the portfolio there, so credit to him. Good job there. But we're undaunted, and we're back, and we've got, I think, a better list. I mean, I always think it's a better list than the last month. All of the stocks, I love them, and we think these are all great long-term picks, even the ones that didn't do great last month. And you'll see that I've got a couple of the ones that didn't do great in here because I think that they were oversold. They're due for a rebound. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get this started. Before I do, I just want to point out, as I always do, that what we're going to do is we're going to go through our first four picks, and then we're going to cut this off for those of you who are watching on YouTube. This is a service that we provide for the paid subscribers to our newsletter, the Wealth Advisory. If you'd like to join, we highly encourage it. You'll get the entire list, plus monthly issues, weekly updates, all the research reports we've ever written, access to our model portfolio. It's really worth a lot, and you get a lot more than just the top 10. But honestly, the top 10 is worth it. We'll put a link to a discounted description either in the video or in the description below it. Go ahead, click that, join us. We would love to have you. If you decide that you don't want to, we won't hold it against you. We'll keep putting these videos out with the first four picks every month for as long as you want to watch them. And all we ask that you do is give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to make sure that you get notified when we post new content. And so with that, let's take it away. My first pick this month is, it might surprise some of you who watched last month's video because it got absolutely crushed last month. It's Albemarle. Ticker symbol is ALB. It got absolutely crushed. Analysts were downgrading the lithium sector. Lithium prices continued to slide down the charts a little bit, but it looks like those prices are getting close to, if not already hitting a bottom. And they could perk back up as the year progresses. I'm not the only one that thinks that either. It's not just wishful thinking here. There's a lot of analysts out there who are proposing that we've hit a bottom and that we're going to see lithium prices start to rebound. As that happens, we're going to see lithium stocks like Albemarle going up. There's a lot of hedge funds that are positioning themselves in the lithium space now while prices are low, and this is the time to buy, is when prices are low. So with Albemarle having gotten absolutely beaten by the market last month, I think that it could be poised to give us a market beating gain this month as investors see the value and go in and scoop up these shares on the deal. So my first pick, or my fifth pick, our number 10 pick, Albemarle Corporation, ticker symbol ALB.
Nice.
And with that, I'll pass it over. All right, there we go. To my partner here.
All right. So my first stock is a familiar one. It's RTX Corp, formerly Raytheon. That's clearly its ticker symbol as well. So I've been talking about RTX for a month, and we actually, since maybe around October or so, when they took a massive charge because they found a flaw in 3,000 Pratt & Whitney jet engines that needed inspection. The stock dropped down to below $70 at one point at that time, and I kept saying, it's gonna bounce back, it's gonna get better, and now it's back up around $92. So it's actually up about 25% since October. It's up 8% in the past month or so, and it just reported really great earnings, which is why we saw a lot of that recent gain. 8%, sales were up 10% for the quarter, 3% for the year. Full year adjusted EPS of $5.06, up 6%. So there's really a sense that RTX has this whole Pratt & Whitney engine problem behind them, and that they're moving forward. And they continue to be a major supplier of missiles, including the Patriot missiles for the Patriot missile system and the missiles used in the Iron Dome, the Tamir missiles that they make with Rafael. So they make a lot of the munitions that we're seeing deployed now in the Ukraine as well as the Middle East. We've seen obviously more turmoil in the Middle East around Israel with Iran now. There's all these potentials for strikes. Missiles are going to continue to be in high demand, whether they're offensive or interceptors, picking off rockets and drones that are flying at U.S. bases and ships or cargo vessels in the Red Sea. There's a lot of work to be done for a company like RTX, and they are now back in the swing of things. Like I said, I really do hope that you guys were able to get in, or at least maybe add to your stake over the past couple of months when it was in that lull, because that really is the best time to get defense contractors like this, is when they do suffer a setback and they eat a little bit of value. You can always be pretty confident, unless you're Boeing, that they're gonna bounce back. So RTX right here, looking good. And that's that.
I like them. I like it. They've got the momentum behind them, and there's a strategy. It's a funny name. It's called PEAD, P-E-A-D, for post earnings announcement drift. And basically, it's like if a company beats earnings announcements and goes up on that beat, the shares will tend to drift for the next few months, and they'll drift in the direction that they went after the earnings announcement. So if they were drifting down, they're going to keep going down, but this one's been going up. So you've got that momentum, that historical momentum behind it too.
Sure.
I like it. Good one. Very good one. So next up for me, my number 4 pick, our number 8 pick, is another one that you guys have seen a lot of, and it's actually another one that got kind of beat up last month too. It's Freeport McMoRan. The ticker symbol is FCX. I'm not quite sure what that little doohickey is at the bottom of my F. Just ignore that. It's not a poorly written E. It's a fancy F for Freeport. And like I said, it got hit pretty hard last month. Investors are trying to decipher the future direction of the copper markets. And there are arguments for both the bullish and bearish short-term scenarios. The bullish argument is, the electrification. Everybody's, trying to push more electrification, EVs, EV chargers, solar panels, wind turbines. All of these things use tons of copper. But then your bearish short-term scenarios are, you've got big economies like China that are contracting, and China's a big buyer of copper, especially when it's expanding. So it's not going to buy as much copper when it's contracting. But really, so there's sort of, a tug of war going on there in the copper markets, and you're seeing it because copper prices have been, kind of volatile. They've gone up and down over the past month. I think that, this is really setting ourselves up for a long-term win here, because long-term copper's in short supply, and the companies that mine it are undervalued, and there are a lot of commodities-focused hedge funds that are loading up on copper companies because they see 2024 to be an explosive year. So I want us to make sure that we've got some of our own skin in the game here, and we're going to make it our number 8 pick for the month and see if it can regain some of that ground it lost in January. So there's that, and I'll pass it back to Jason over here for our last pick on the YouTube video, and then we'll do a little recap for you.
Sure, and this one relates to what I was just talking about. So this is Northrop Grumman, NOC. Northrop Grumman, again, is another stock that had actually a really bad month. It, like RTX...
There's a pattern to our picks.
Yeah, well, this one
RTX
is
had a
now
great month.
where RTX was late last year, and that its stock just dropped 6.5%. Why? Because in their earnings, they revealed a $1.5 billion pre-tax charge to their B-21 stealth fighter. This is the new fighter they've been working on. It's a highly secretive project. It's a big project. The military is counting on it, but they're taking this charge. And the reason they're taking it, it's not because they did anything wrong. There's nothing structural. It's just they signed this contract in 2015. And when they signed it, they did it using basically 2010 prices is what they used for the calculation the U.S. Air Force did. So they used basically a $550 million standard for the price in the initial contract. In today's dollars, that's $778 million, given the rate that inflation has gone up. So inflation accelerated to a point that it really outran this contract, and now Northrop is going to lose money on the first 5 lots that are going to be sold. They're going to be sold at a loss. That's a given. And so that's why the stock is down. However, I think after that, that loss is baked in. That charge has been taken. The stock has been adequately priced to reflect that, now it can start to climb back up. And, ultimately, I think they're going to probably renegotiate the prices, get higher prices for that B-21, the Raider, when it's ready to go. Like I said, it's going to be the next generation stealth bomber. We're going to need it. We're talking about, again, I was just talking about terrorism in the Middle East and dealing with, Hamas and groups like that. But we also have to worry about near-peer conflict with countries like Russia and China. And for that's when you need a sophisticated bomber that's capable of piercing deep within enemy territory. Mm-hmm. You can't just sit in the Pacific and launch drones and missiles at China. That's not going to work. You have to be able to get in there. So they're going to need it. And then also on top of that, they're also still working on key programs like the Sentinel program, which is replacing all of the Minutemen missiles in our ICBM shield. So, if countries launch nuclear bombs at us, nuclear missiles at us, ICBMs, these are the interceptors that are in the silos on the ground. That whole system is being redone, and it's getting a makeover. Northrop Grumman's in charge of that. That's a huge contract. They net a lot of big deals. They will recover from this, so it's a good opportunity to buy on the dip, and that's why I've got Northrop in here for this month.
I like it. And those baked-in losses, those are only on the first 5 lots sent to the U.S. government.
Once they get past that, there'll be more tranches, and they'll move on.
Oh, definitely.
But they got to take that charge, and no one likes to see that. That's a big number. I mean, it's a big contract for that B-21 problem. So but like I said, they'll move on from it. Northrop Grumman's a good company, though.
Oh, definitely. Great company, and definitely a great opportunity to buy it now. All right, so those are our first 4. Let's go ahead and run through a little recap here, and then we'll get back to the picking and let you watching on YouTube get back to your day. First up, number 10, my pick, Albemarle Corporation. I love lithium long term. It's been hit. It looks like prices are reaching a bottom, and they're going to start to come up. Companies like Albemarle, the number 1 producer of lithium in the world, they're going to benefit from that. We're not the only ones that feel that way. Hedge funds are positioning themselves. Institutional investors are too. So we should have a piece of that and see if we can recover some of Albemarle's losses from January. Next up at number 9.
Yeah, RTX. We've done really well with this one over the past few months. Like I said, they're coming back from a product recall. They're up 8% the past month, probably about 25% since October when they hit their low. They had a great earnings report. The momentum's back. RTX has got its groove back here.
I like it. That's a good way to put it too. It definitely got its groove back. Next up, number 8, Freeport McMoran. This is one of my picks here. It's copper. Long-term copper is in short supply, and we're going to need a lot more of it. The companies that make it are going to see a big benefit from it. We're, again, not the only ones that feel that way. There are a lot of commodity-focused hedge funds that are sort of ditching a lot of other commodities and really focusing on the copper, on the lithium. So we're going to get some skin in that game, too. We're going to see if Freeport can recover some of what it lost in January, and we're going to make it our number 8 pick.
All right, yeah, Northrop Grumman. Again, a similar position that Raytheon found itself in the latter half of last year. Not even a problem as big as a product recall, just a massive charge to a big government contract that they're working on in terms of the next generation stealth bomber. But it's one that I'm pretty confident they can recover from. And hopefully in the short term here, even turn it around. Because again, you look at the demand for defense weapons platforms, ammunition, large-scale products or projects, whether they be here in terms of ICBM or space, aerospace, that kind of stuff. Northrop Grumman's always in the mix for that stuff, so I think they're going to bounce back.
Excellent. Well, there you go, folks. I think that's a solid first 4 picks. And for those of you watching on YouTube, we're going to go ahead and cut it off. If you'd like to become a member, get the rest of the picks and all of the other amazing benefits that come with membership in the Wealth Advisory, click the link below in the description. You'll get an offer for a discounted membership. If not, that's okay. We won't hold it against you. Keep watching the videos. Give us a thumbs up. Drop a comment if there's something else you'd like us to talk about. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to get notified. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next month.